between her.
Hi, everyone. I started a little bit early because the channel I'm watching said that the judge approached the bench and everything is on a 30-minute delay. So we'll actually start seeing footage about 30 minutes from now. So I figured we could get everything figured out. Hi, Peekaboo. Hi. I'm I'm gonna play the audio really quick, and please let me know if it sounds distorted or if there's any echo, because if it does, I'll put my headphones in. So let me play the audio and you
Of
guys tell
Lori
me.
Daybell as Lori Daybell cross-examined
Does it
Brandon
sound like
Boudreaux for the
any
first
echoes or anything
time
like that?
and brought up how this was a happy family and she,
I'm gonna mute it
watched his
again,
kids grow up, helped,
just to hear what you guys have to say. Hi, Raven. Hi, Colton Cake. Welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. This is my first time doing something like this. And it's a good warm up because I really want to do it for the Brian Koberger trial. Hi, Alyssa and Eva. Okay, it sounds good. You don't hear echoes. Perfect. That's great. That is so, so great. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is exciting. I've never done something like this before. I've never actually watched entire trials. So this is going to be um yeah, it's gonna be great, and I'm so glad to be able to enjoy it with all of you being here. And it's a weird thing to say to enjoy it, right? Because this is ultimately, something bad happened here that there's a court case, right? Hi, Karen. Thank you. Thanks so much for the luck. So some people were asking, what is this trial about? And I did a little bit of research. So this is okay, so in October 2019, Brandon, who is Lori Vallow-Daybell's niece's husband, or moving into becoming ex-husband, they were going to get divorced, was shot at. And the car that went by was a Jeep Wrangler. And they're saying actually that that Jeep Wrangler used to be Tylee's car. So luckily, they weren't able to achieve their goal, and Brandon survived. And this is what that case is about. This is the trial for that attempted murder. Now, they say that Alex Cox, who is Lori's brother, is the one that reportedly carried out the attempt, and he actually died later that year of natural causes. So essentially, this trial is a conspiracy to commit attempted murder for her alleged role in planning this attack on Brandon. And again, Brandon is her nephew. Gosh, I keep messing it up. Lori Vallow's sister's daughter's future ex-husband, or plan to be ex-husband. Yeah, so here we go. And she is representing herself, um, which is just wild. Like, is very Meghan Markle of her. Am I right? Like how Meghan just fires people that, because she thinks she can do the best. So, and we all know that that's not true. Hi, Peekaboo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, please hit the like button if you can. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel on Revealing the Crime. Um, I'm really excited to be able to do something like this, to be able to watch it with you. I really wonder what in the world is going to happen. Did you guys see what happened on Friday? So on Friday, Lori wanted to talk about how she's this nice person and she has all these redeeming qualities. And the prosecution was saying, if you bring that up, we are going to need to bring up your prior convictions that you've been convicted of murder, because you can't claim to be this wonderful family oriented person and then found guilty on these horrible, horrible crimes. So the judge starts trying to explain to her, if you bring that up, you're opening the door for the prosecution to bring in your prior convictions. And Lori says, stop yelling at me, or you don't have to yell at me, or something like that. And they get into an argument, and the judge, I love it. The judge is like, take her out, take her out, take her out. Because the judge knew it was the point of no return. Like, he was getting into Lori's manipulation tactics, were trying to step in there. So this is going to be wild, guys. Have any of you ever seen a trial where the defendant is their own lawyer? It's wild. So this is Friday's footage. See, they're escorting her out. This was that moment. Like Amber Heard bringing up Kate Moss and then being, it ends up backfiring on her. And here's the thing, they were doing some commentary right before this, and they were saying that they have to warn Lori about it, because if they don't, in the future, she could turn around and say, I wasn't told that they would bring up that my prior convictions, and she could use that as a grounds for appeal. So sorry if my legal knowledge or whatever is not the best. I watch a lot of true crime and I've learned a lot, but I am in no way trained to be an expert in law or a lawyer. I mean, I don't know why Lori herself thinks that she's okay to do this. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I don't know how people have so much diluted self-confidence. Even the things I'm trained to do professionally, I still have what's the word? Hesitations that maybe I'm doing it wrong, right? And I've been trained in that for decades, right? So it's just wild to me. Yeah. So are there any questions in the comments? Is there anything you guys want to talk about before this starts? If you guys want, I can turn the audio on and we can hear what's going on in this interview. Let me know. Let me know if that's what you'd like to do. You know what? I'm going to do that, and I'm going to monitor the comments, okay, guys? I'm going to turn on the audio.
Back in her questioning, like, look, are you saying you didn't say this, or you almost like, I would never do that. That's not who I am.
Well, they spent a lot of time together as aunt and niece, and
Yeah.
she was looked at as a mother-like figure, according to Brandon, but she is starting to have these bizarre religious beliefs already.
Yes.
2018
and we know
into
that
2019.
by now. Yes.
We
That's
know
already
that,
been in court.
And she's been convicted because of that, or that evidence has been presented in Idaho and even here in Arizona for Charles Vallow's murder. And he was dealing with those struggles of trying to get her help mentally,
Yes.
because of what she was saying about being a god and all of the stuff, and having the affair with Chad Daybell, who was the teacher in this
Yes.
case. But we know her pattern of cross-examine. Did you see me do that? And so here's her cross-examining Brandon about the whole situation of him being called gay.
On June 25th, Melanie told me that she believed that I was gay, correct?
That she herself had that belief.
Yes.
Not that that belief had come from me, but that belief had come from herself.
Are you asking me whether or not I think that belief came from you?
No, I'm saying, did she convey to you that she had that belief, period?
Yes.
Okay. And then later in the next line, you tell Detective Tiller, you convey to him that I convinced her of that fact.
Yes.
Okay. What made you believe I convinced her of that fact?
conversations I'd had with Charles Vallow.
Okay. So did you hear me tell that to Melanie Boudreaux?
No.
Did you ever witness me talking to her about you?
Did I witness you talking to Melanie about me
Correct.
at any point?
About this topic, about being gay.
No, I did not witness you talking to her about this topic.
Okay. So you heard it from a third party, supposedly.
I heard it from Charles Vallow.
Okay. But not from me directly. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Fact that the jury has heard from Brandon that he believes, bottom line, that Lori had an influence on the end of his marriage because of how much influence that she had on her niece Melanie Pawlowski. And now we got to know and be confirmed through Trina K that she's a part of this investigation, this open case,
Yeah.
as someone that is still being looked at as a suspect for alleged involvement. Has not been charged. No charge has been recommended at this time, but in this years-long investigation, she is clearly part of the inner circle and has been looked at as such.
Yeah, yet another unanswered question is we didn't know whether she was a prime
Yeah.
suspect in all of this, whether she would be charged. For those that aren't aware, police departments can forward charges to the county attorney whenever they want, whenever they feel their case is strong enough.
Mhm.
County attorney can then return that case and say, look, this isn't strong enough for a conviction. You either need more or we're not going to proceed. So this is the first time that those of us who have covered
really
this
hear
saga,
it.
yeah, we're the
Yeah.
first time we've heard it on the record.
And
And as our panel said, there's no reason for Trina to make this up or throw it out there for any reason. The jury was not privy to this. So I think for us to hear that,
Mhm.
and for those who are following this to hear that,
Okay, everyone, let's chat a little bit because I'm not sure how much of this footage I can show of their commentary without getting like in trouble with copyright or things like that. This is the channel that is doing the official courtroom stream. So it's okay to do the courtroom stream, but I don't know how much of their actual conversation I can share. Karen is saying the first trial concerning the children was incredibly sad and heartbreaking. She has no remorse and no empathy for any of her victims. Yeah, and I mean, she was talking about how her children are so happy right now, and it's just, you're right, absolutely no remorse. In fact, it's almost the opposite of remorse, right? Like there's no regrets about doing it. Like it was meant to happen that way, that the children were taken over by whatever dark spirits they say. Alyssa says, Nate Eaton mentioned it earlier that Idaho detectives found the children in Chad's backyard 5 years ago, right, Alyssa? I think you were the one that said that earlier. Yeah, that it was 5 years ago that they found the children. It's very sad. Very sad. Lisa says 404B is to stay away from trying to establish the character of someone. If you open that door, then you can use 405 to actually prove character, which will blow her case. Yes, this is what they were talking about the other day in the trial. I didn't quite understand what they were talking about, but I remember them saying 404 A and B. They mentioned A2, I think. But yeah. Yeah, we'll see. So it's been about 15 minutes almost. So the stream will begin from the courtroom in about 15 minutes. Yeah, it's wild. I think the things that come out of Lori's mouth are just so telling. Like you can tell you're dealing with someone that's a cluster B. Yeah. Colton Cake says it's spiritual bypassing with a whole lot of religious delusion to escape the reality and consequences of what she did. Yeah. Yeah. Did any of you watch the Dateline interview with Lori? Yes, may they rest in peace. I know. I don't understand it. I don't understand people that are like this. And how the more you watch it, the more you realize that Lori was manipulating Chad and Chad was manipulating Lori at the same time. Like, it felt like the two of them were doing it to each other, which I originally thought that Lori was the main influence here, but I think Chad sometimes was the ones, saying that so and so is the one with the demon inside them, or whatever phrase they used. Yeah. Yeah, and I remember there's one, after her husband, Charles Vallow, was murdered, she called the life insurance and found out that the beneficiary was changed to, um, Charles's sister, because obviously Charles felt like something might be happening, that, Lori might be doing something behind the scenes. So Lori kind of lost her mind, and they have the audio of that, I think, where she's relaying that story to Chad, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah. Yeah, if you guys could please hit the like button if you like it. Karen says the order was, if I recall, Charles Vallow, then Chad killed his wife, then Tylee and JJ. She claimed the children were zombies and Charles was possessed by a demon. Yeah, and she would call Charles Ned, that was the demon that possessed Charles. And Charles was worried about it. There's body cam footage of him talking to a police officer saying that he's worried about his life, that um, Lori is calling him possessed and saying that he's a demon named Ned. And yeah, Cults is asking, was Chad Lori's preacher and that's how they met? My understanding was that they were at a conference and that's where she met him. And he had a podcast. If I'm not mistaken, she was a guest on his podcast once or twice. She went to the conference through a friend, like a friend was the one that told her to go. And yeah. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I didn't realize that. That's so awful, dude. Oh my gosh. And then they try the story they turned it into, or Lori turned it into, was that the daughter, Tylee, had pancreatitis and was in constant pain. And I think, sorry guys if I get the facts wrong, but Tylee ends up causing the death of JJ, and she ends up so depressed that she ends her own life. So not only were these horrible acts done to these children, but the narrative that was spun is just so disgusting, so that they don't get any so that they don't have any responsibility in what they did to the children. Yeah, it's awful. I also heard that the day that Charles Vallow was murdered, that same day they threw a party in the house. It's ridiculous. It's cold. It's cold. Yeah, it's terrible. And Trial and Recess, it says. Brandon doesn't look the way that I remember from what I had seen in the other documentaries. Yeah. Yeah, Cults and Cake. Cults and Cake says that's so chilling and insane that they didn't care how suspicious that looked. Yeah. And they found them on Chad's property. Yeah, completely chilling. And like still no remorse. In the Dateline interview, Lori kept saying that, she's going to get acquitted and she's going to get out and her and Chad are going to be together. This isn't the end of it. Everything is going to be fine. They're going to live this beautiful hunky dory life. Yeah, he does, Karen. He looks almost broken. Yeah. He looks stunned. And for her to bring those questions up, what I noticed watching bits and pieces of her interrogating people, she's loving holding that power over them. Oh, Lisa, I didn't. Okay, Lisa. Lisa says I actually went back and listened to Brandon's testimony. That man was shaken to the core. I should. I should watch it, and maybe I can make some videos about it. Yeah, they believe. Karen says they believe they are the second coming. They believe they're the 144,000, right, at the end of the world. That yeah. And if you look into her eyes, she really believes it, right? What do you guys think? I think she really does believe she's this mythological, you know, gift. She's the greatest. I really think she believes that. She mentioned in the Dateline interview that um, Jesus loves everyone but loves her the most. She said something like that. Like, what? Oh my goodness. She said that Jesus is very funny and joins her in her cell, I want to say. Sorry if I'm getting all the facts wrong, guys. I should have done a warm up. I should have watched the Dateline episode before doing this. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. I'm really excited to do this. And if this goes well and if you guys find it interesting, maybe we can do it again tomorrow. Hi, Agatha. I think Agatha, you may have been the one that inspired me to do this. I think there was a comment you left under one of my videos, and I was thinking maybe I should try live streaming it. Yeah, so we're getting closer. Yes, I believe they're the Church of Latter-day Saints, and I do want to specify because someone got upset with me last time. Their beliefs, Lori and Chad's beliefs, are so completely outside of what the LDS believes. So their beliefs are not like I don't know how to say it. But in no way are they representing or are they representative of what the LDS Church believes, is my understanding. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you so much for joining me. She does care and she does believe she's a goddess. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so see, they were, like they believed what all the other Mormons believed. Yeah, the devil masquerades as an angel of light. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful. Got to be careful. I always, 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 I pray for discernment before anything because, and I get so happy when people reveal themselves to me to be who they are because I would much rather know what's going on behind the scenes, even if it's hurtful, than to have someone fake it to my face and then have really bad intentions, you know? Yeah. Agatha says it was that weird end of the world cult within the Mormon church. Yeah. And I think they even took it a step further. Like it seems like Lori herself was the cult leader here, right? Um, yeah. Yep, Karen, exactly right. Like all cults, they twist the words of whatever religion they follow and make it bend to the shape they feel is relevant to them. Absolutely, Karen. And you know who knows probably so much about this? Cults and cake. And if you really look at the relationships between Lori and Chad and Lori's brother Alex and anyone that was in that like inner circle, it really is like Lori and Chad were the leaders of that cult. Even though it wasn't a huge cult, it was still influential. You guys, can you hear my air conditioner? I may need to turn it off. Just let me know. You know what? I'm going to turn it off because when I start the audio, I won't be able to hear the computer. Oh, you don't hear it? Okay, thank you, Agatha. Sometimes the mic picks up so much noise, and then sometimes it picks up nothing. Like, it's crazy. I'll start recording, and all of a sudden there are people that go through with those blower things and they blow all the leaves around, and it's so loud. And you can hear it in the audio, and my air conditioner I think sounds pretty loud, but yeah. What's the weather like, you guys, where you are? Because it seems Colton Cake has hers on too. Yeah, Agatha, he was the leader and she was his goddess. Yeah. And according to her, they've been in love for lifetimes or something so good. Oh, it's cold where you are, Agatha? It's pretty warm here. Let me see what the weather is this week here. Well, it's in Fahrenheit, it's the 80s. It reaches the high 80s in the middle of the week, and the weekend is in the 90s. So UK 14 degrees daytime. So that's pretty cold, right? I remember walking around New York when it was 20 and it was freezing. Wait, that was Fahrenheit. Just kidding. Just kidding. Northern Germany too. It's cold. Yeah, sounds like it. Karen says what drew Chad and Lori together originally was that both had NDEs. What does that mean, Karen, NDEs? I don't handle the heat well either, Colton Cake, honestly. And it's so weird. It's like I'm never satisfied because when the air is on, I'm hot, or when the air is off, I'm hot. And then when it turns on, I'm like, it's freezing in here. And it's like instant. The moment it turns on, I'm like, it's too cold. It's like I'm never satisfied. Oh, okay, guys, I'm going to go on mute. Let's get this started, okay?
Team, everyone showed up this morning on time, it appeared. We hadn't heard of any jury issues or any late jurors.
Box of files.
Oh, yeah.
Big folder of files.
You'll even hear him go on the record once the judge walks in.
Yeah.
But then they quickly go to a sidebar. So again, as far as we know,
there was what happened after he went on the record. Yeah. What did Judge Bresky know? What was he briefed on? Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's always something. There's always something that we're never really prepared for. It's always some sort of surprise. But for now, how about this? Let's take a look at the poll question. Can we do that and see what the results are as far as we asked who's been the strongest witness in trial so far? 500 votes. Thank you guys all for interacting with us and participating. We also have the poll question in our chat box. Brandon Boudreaux, easily 93% of you say that he has been the strongest witness in trial so far. He was witness number 1 for the state. They started things off with him, tell his story, very traumatizing to say the least, being shot at as he was arriving home after dropping off his kids to his ex-wife, Melanie Boudreaux. 2% say Ryan Pillar. 5% say Nate Duncan. And Nate Duncan got into the iCloud data, and he's...
Okay, guys, I'm back. So I want to make sure I don't get any copyright issues. I've never done this before, so I don't know at what point they flag you. Yeah, 14 degrees Celsius for Agatha, 19 degrees Celsius for Shabby Susanna. Yeah. It's cold for you. Wait, 19C. Oh, 19C is cold. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna mute myself again, guys. Here we go.
And so that man to the right, could that be the official with that I'm trying to feel like I've seen his face. Ryan Pillar sitting at the prosecution table. But you have this man here with the gold tie and the suit. All right, Judge Boreski said something to Daybell. Daybell's crossed her arms,
There's
walking
Brandon.
back.
Brandon and his wife there in the front.
Yeah, something is up.
And again, they had not brought the jury in at this point.
Yeah.
That's
So
typically
they're
something
wondering
they'll
what's
do after
going
they go
on.
on the record.
The jury's waiting to go.
Yeah.
Trina,
So again, you guys,
Trina's
there's
smiling.
a 30-minute delay. So everything we're watching happened 30 minutes ago. They're allowing the trial to be televised, but that's the caveat that they're giving, that there has to be a 30-minute delay. It looks like the jury hasn't been called in yet. I wonder what that means. Yeah. And did you all see, you saw Brandon walking? He was very close to the camera, actually. I wish I started this last week and we watched it from day one. Well, we're going to be doing that for Brian Koberger's trial. But I think Brian Koberger's trial is long. I think it starts in August and it's expected, I think, to go till October, November, something like that. Oh, Lisa, this isn't. So I tried Googling it, and my impression was that the court feed is coming through East Indiana News. And is this not East Indiana News? Did I do that wrong? Oh, oops. You guys are right. I'm watching the wrong thing. Okay, let me stop sharing and let me find the actual one. My bad. Good eye. I think it's supposed to be the East Idaho News. Thank you so much for saying that. Oh my goodness. You know, it's the first time doing it, so I don't know. I just like found something and I opened it and here we are. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Here's the actual East Idaho News. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Peekaboo. The things that are happening in LA right now, I don't know why they're calling it a peaceful protest. That is not a peaceful protest, what's happening. Yeah, it's a practice run. We got it though. Now we know. Now I know to double check that I'm watching the right thing. Hi, Hide Out Loud. Thanks for being here. Yeah, see, now I don't feel so bad. You know, at least I'm not like sharing what someone else's like dialogue and coverage. You know, I felt really weird doing that. Yeah, but this is great. Thank you. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. A lot of people do these live streams though, right? Where they show the court coverage. So hopefully it's all good. My sister actually lives in Arizona. I should tell her to go to the trial and be my eyes and ears. She'll get the information 30 minutes before we do. Yeah. So how was everyone's weekends? Tell me about that. What did you all do? I made some content. And what else? I watched the Sidley Twins' live stream yesterday. Yes, Agatha, thank you. Yes, if it's court feed, and that's why I was under the impression, because I was looking it up and it said the official court feed is the East Idaho News, and I thought that's what I had on. Oops. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the conversation flowing. Yeah, so I watched the Sidley Twins oh, happy birthday, Colts and Cake. So yesterday, June 8. Is that right? June 8 is your birthday. I love the twins too. Hide Out Loud. Love them. They are seriously the best. Yeah, and they're just lovely people. I love how generous they are, and I actually I copied them. I'm going to admit it. I copied them. So they always say, in place of super chats and super stickers to donate to a particular animal shelter, and I'm doing the same thing too. You know, I ask everybody to please donate to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Um, I'm trying to make it a regular thing, and yeah. Let's see. Yep, June 8th, Gemini season. Yep. Many people saying happy birthday to Cults and Cake. Nice. You watched them too for a bit, Agatha says. Yeah. Yeah, anytime, Cults and Cake. My birthday's coming up too. We're getting there. I don't know what I should do for my birthday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a Disney day. Oh, that's so sweet, Karen. Karen saying, really hope you had a great day. Lovely. What did you do, by the way, Colts and Cake, for your birthday? How did you celebrate? I'm a Gemini, but I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying that I'm very much on the cusp of whatever the next sign is, if that's Cancer, maybe, because she was saying that I have a little bit of the whatever the next sign is. So I don't know. I really feel like I'm one of those people that you can stick me in any situation and I'll find common ground with people. Um, and in no way am I saying that to like boost my bubble or anything like that. It's not that. It's just I know that that's one of the things that I can do. And sometimes that's not always a good thing because I might be like hesitant to give my opinion sometimes with people I don't know. But I don't know. You never want to offend people too. That's the thing. I don't know. I would much rather connect with people and then have discussions once once you get to know the person and you realize that there's no ill intent or anything like that. It's people are so opinionated and passionate about things. And yeah. Oh, Lisa's nephew's birthday was also on the 8th. So shares a birthday with Colts and Cake. Yeah, you guys, it's my first live stream and I have 12 of you here. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting. I'm so glad I was able to live stream on revealing the crime because I thought you needed to have 1,000 subscribers in order to be able to live stream, but apparently not. I'm at, I think, 650, 660 subscribers, something like that, on revealing the crime. So I was thought once I get to the 1,000, I'll do the live stream, but looks like I can do it now. So I'm very, very excited about that. Colton Cake says, yay, Geminis. Cancers are much more reserved. So if you're on the cusp, you'll have yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit of both. There are moments that I'm quiet and there are moments that you cannot make me be quiet. I definitely do that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You guys, what do you think is happening over there? What's going on? Karen says, having a past like yours in mind, we tend to become a cipher, always adapting. That is very well said, Karen, right? We anticipate people's moves. It's like being a boxer, right? Just constantly shuffling, waiting to go in whatever direction. You're absolutely right. That is part of it. It's my ex-husband used to say that I live with doom around the corner. Now, here's the thing. My ex-husband, and I recognize this now as the idealize, devalue, discard cycle. But in the first 2 or 3 years of our relationship and early in our marriage, he left me 10 times. And look, like I take complete responsibility because I stayed, right? I went back 10 times. So I didn't recognize what was happening. And I had no idea he was a narcissist, like no clue at all. But of course, I would live with doom around the corner, always waiting for the next shoe to drop. Yeah. Colton Cake says, my neighbors have the same birthday as me. We had a mini celebration together, and then I had my family over. We all wore crowns, ate Chinese food and cake. Oh my gosh, I really want Chinese food now that you said that. Oh, I would love some Chinese food. I can almost taste the chow mein now that you said that. It's almost lunchtime here, 45 minutes, and then it's lunchtime here. Lisa says, most people are covering the Karen Reed second trial, but I can't stand that judge. She is biased. Who is she biased towards? I haven't been following up on that case. Agatha says empaths with, yeah, that's what it is. And I'm sorry to hear, Karen, that you've been there. And it seems, Agatha, you've been there too. And I feel like the majority of us, all of us are here together because I think all of us have experienced it on some level, right? So, and how much our current characteristics and dealing with people and dealing with hardships are the same. Agatha, I did not really watch this until I saw on Friday when he told her, take her out, take her out, take her out. That's it. I love this judge now too. Yeah. Lisa says, if the judge is not on the bench, they go to the state symbol. Oh, so do you think they're having like private discussions in the back? In like private chambers? It was covered in jewels and crowns with decade. I love that. Yeah, I'm assuming your cake, right? Colton cake. She's for the prosecution, Lisa says. Interesting. Yeah, that's a case I need to get into. I have watched Dateline in 2020 about it, and I mean, I couldn't decide one way or the other if I thought she did it or not. That having her taillight broken, that was very suspicious to me. And maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But that was for me the most suspicious part. In my opinion, I don't think that there were people in the home that conspired together to hide what happened to the victim, and I forget his name, sorry. Yeah. Hide Out Loud, I love your music that you choose for your shorts. Can I tell you my secret, Hide Out Loud? Okay, so I don't know how TikTok does this, but whenever I'm getting ready to make a short, I'll upload to TikTok, and based on the footage, I don't know how they do it, but they pick a song, an automatic song. Most of the time, it's right on the money, and I keep that song. Sometimes I have to change it, but it's very rare occasion. So my secret is TikTok. They choose the best automatic songs that matches the footage. Yeah. Karen says, I was lucky I found a man who protected and understood me. I lost him after 40 years of marriage. I always say he was my reward for my childhood. I'm sorry for your loss, Karen. Sending big, big, big hugs. Sorry for your loss. Colton Cake says, I loved the judge in the Heard versus Depp case. Oh, we were all covered in jewels and crowns. Yeah, it's great. The secret is TikTok. That's my secret. Yes, it's the same as my channel, and I also have an Instagram. I should say this more. So I have a Patreon, I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, and I have an X for revealing the narc. And then for revealing the crime, I have YouTube and I have an X account. Brick by Brick says, like Freud said, at first you better check by what kind of idiots you are surrounded before you think something might be weird about yourself. Yeah, sometimes it is the idiots you're surrounded by. And I don't know if you are all like this, but I usually jump straight to, did I do something wrong? Like it's hard for me to think that it's the opposing person that did something wrong. And then, when I look at what I did and I really think about the interaction, sometimes the conclusion is, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that or done that. And sometimes the conclusion is, no, I don't think I did anything wrong. Yeah. Wow, I wonder what's going on over there. So they're 30 minutes ahead. Um, so it's 11:49 for them. I would imagine they're at lunch by now. That's my guess. What do you say we all order some Chinese food? Oh, Culture Cake, you have me craving Chinese food. And it's so bad because I order the worst things when I order Chinese food. Oh my goodness. That's how it is. Yeah, let's see. Sorry I get quiet. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Karen, same. I always think it's my fault. It's a hard habit to break. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Alyssa says, I'm wondering if they'll charge Lori's niece, Melanie. I'm thinking no after all this time, but anything is possible. It seems like it's no. And actually, that's a good question I'm going to relay to all of you. Do you think Lori's niece was involved? So, in case you missed what this trial is about, this trial is for the attempted murder on Brandon Boudreaux, who is Lori Vallow's sister's daughter's, so Lori Vallow's niece's ex-husband. Do you think that Melanie, Lori's niece, knew about it? And I'm going to let you all tell me what you think before I give my opinion. Yeah, it's Colton Cake says it's so tasty. I'd share my leftovers with everyone if I could. Yummy. And I'm so bad because I usually, when I order Chinese food, I order Panda Express. Like, I know there are a lot of mom and pop places that sell it, but I always go straight to Panda. Lisa says Melanie is still under investigation, so charges can still be filed. Yeah. What do you all think? Do you think she's involved in any way? I don't want to give. I know, hide out loud. How many? Yeah, like at some point, if I'm around someone and all this keeps happening, I don't want to be friends with this person anymore. I don't. The instance of not just passing away, but of deliberately being, there's certain words that we can't say on YouTube because they get flagged, but like deliberately having their life taken away. Yeah. Karen says, Alyssa, yes, there is now active investigation on Melanie. It came up in court on day one. Thanks, Karen. Colton Cake says, is there a motive for Lori trying to off him, or did she just dub him demon at random? My understanding is that the niece, Melanie, and Brandon were going through divorce, and it was a contentious, maybe, divorce. There were child custody issues, I think, that were involved. But if anyone knows more, please let me know in the comments. Lisa says, I think she told Lori that Brandon just dropped off the kids and was going home. So that's like the extent of her involvement. She had no idea it was just a casual conversation, Lisa, about that. And that was the most that she did. Oh, Karen says there was an insurance policy on Brandon. See, okay, I'm going to tell you guys my opinion. I don't see how she can't be involved because your aunt doesn't just decide to do that, right? Lisa thinks so too. She was in on it. Your aunt doesn't just decide, you know what, and without telling you, like, you know what, I'm gonna make it easier on my niece. And now, Karen, that you're saying there's a life insurance policy, the only way that Lori could benefit from that life insurance policy is if Melanie promised some payout, right? And we already know with Charles Vallow, that may have been a motivator because as soon as Charles Vallow passed away, Lori called the life insurance company and found out she was not a beneficiary anymore. So that's suspicious. Yeah. Colton Cake says, so in theory, it was beneficial for her niece to have him gone. Yep. Yep. Karen says, in text, Lori and Melanie and Alex were going to move a commune and use the money. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it seemed like they were getting ready to start a cult, right? Wasn't it so, like, I think one of the wildest things is that Alex Cox passes away. Lori's brother and, in quotation marks, I guess you could say, enforcer, right? Lisa says Melanie was into the people being taken over by demons. Melanie, yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Lisa. I hear you. Alyssa says, I agree with RV and Lisa. I do think she knows more. Yeah, like, why would your aunt do that for you? If you weren't involved. Like, I would hope if my aunt was going to do something like that, like, she would ask my permission first. I know that that sounds horrible to say, and I am joking about it, but I feel like this is not something that Lori would have thought about or Alex Cox would have thought about doing on their own. I'd out loud said, "These people make me sick. They end lives and just move on like it's nothing." Yes, yes, and then they try to make it seem like it was the victim's fault for whatever happened, like the story they spun about Tylee and JJ. Um, what Lori implies happened. It's sick, you guys. Yeah, completely. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We have 9 people here. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And I love that, it's an intimate chat so we can talk and just wait it out. Let's see what happens. Oh, Lisa says Alex seemed to have a moment of clarity. So they ruled that he passed from natural causes. What do you think about that, Lisa? And he had just gotten married too, right? Oh, you guys, resting Dollface just texted me and she sent me the link for something that I'm going to go hurry up and screen record before it gets taken down. So, okay, I'm going to turn down my volume. Oh my gosh, it's an hour and 6 minutes long, but hopefully I can screen record the whole thing. And let me text her back and say, thank you. Multitasking, guys, multitasking. Colton Cake says, I found a pattern from looking at cults. They need 3 people at the top, the cult main leader, their number 2 is usually a partner, the number 3 is either their child or a third brought into their marriage. So do you think that that's Alex then, Colton Cake? So Lori's brother, the enforcer, is the third? Take the clarity to the police. Right out loud said, you guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to go have a sip of my coffee. I'll be right back. All right. Wow, this is taking a long time for it to start, right? Lisa says, I think it will be found eventually that Alex asked the question, am I a man of God or not? I hadn't heard that, Lisa. I mean, it's a coincidence for sure, right? It's suspicious. Yeah. Colton Cake says, yep, they need the third to do the dirty work. The number 2 does recruiting with a softer approach and the leader gives the orders. So Colton Cake, what do you think about how Actually, I have my answer, but I'm going to ask all of you what you all think. So, in my opinion, Megan is a cult of one, right? And Harry is, you know, the member of her cult. Who I already have the answer, but you guys tell me, or you know what? I'm curious to know, who do you all think is the third person in that cult, in that leadership scheme between Harry and Meghan? I know coffee's so great. I had to run out this morning to run an errand, and I was like, well, I'm out. Might as well grab some Starbucks before coming home. So here we are. Still have my Starbucks. You know, it's been 2 hours probably since I got home, but I savor my coffee. I wonder what's going on. Is there any audio? Even they so I unmuted it and there's no audio. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna leave it like that so that if we do hear anything, Hide Out Loud thinks Marcus. Colton Cake says Betty in the future. Lisa, this is where I was going. I was like Doria. I thought Doria. That's what I thought. And then my second thought was Marcus. Yeah, that's what I think too, you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen this week with Harry and Meghan? They really threw us for a wild ride last week. So much happened. We had that Spencer story, and then we had the passport story, and then we had the twerking video, and then we had the Disney. That was like a really eventful week last week. Well, this week we have the National History Museum Gala. And I'm gonna do as the twins are gonna do. I'm going full blackout that day. So no Harry and Meghan content on June 14th. And it's Trooping the Colors. So it's easy to do and focus on Trooping the Color. Colton Cake says, I'd imagine there is a silent third who is maybe a publicist who's taking care of the media scandals and narratives. Yeah, could be. Could be. She's gonna blame the royal family. Yep. Alyssa says, I wonder too if Lori or Alex had anything to do with Lori husbands. You know, I'm curious about that too. Like what happened to the other 3 husbands? Yeah. She's due a major tragedy. Lisa says, yeah. She'll say they knew everything. Yeah. Trying to think what else could happen this week. What about this hotel thing that Meghan is saying? She wants to become, people are saying she wants to be like Paris Hilton, maybe? I wonder if I should screen share something else while we wait, but then I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. Well, I have the audio going, so I think I'll hear it if anything happens, but I could perhaps show some videos and we can talk about them. Let's see. What videos do I have? I do have, what's this? So many video clips, you guys. I'm trying to find the clip from the Vallow trial last week where the judge threw her out. Sorry, guys, that I'm being quiet. Where is it? Here we go. All right, here it is. Let's watch it.
Introduce how you have great character and good character. We're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could
Okay.
include being convicted of 4 murders. And
You
maybe
don't
they
need to yell at me either.
yelling at you, okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk
Okay,
to me that way. I'm
take her
very
out.
courteous.
Take her out.
I'm very courteous to you.
Girl, no, you have been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings. Talk with your advisory council about the rest of your cross. We're going to resume in 15 minutes.
All rise.
She's like a child throwing a tantrum, right? Did you see that as she was walking out? And I love that the judge was like, stop it. Stop it. Take her out. Because he knew they were headed down the wrong path. Eva says Paris Hilton is a smart businesswoman. Yep, agree. Lisa says, I think H&M should go support the rioters. I know she cared so much about LA in January. Yeah. The judge was like, put her on the naughty step. Do you guys want to watch it again? Let me play it again.
If you're going to introduce how you have great character and good character, we're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could
Okay.
include being convicted of 4 murders. And
You don't
maybe
need to yell at me either.
yelling at you, okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk
Okay,
to me that way. I'm
take her
very
out.
courteous.
Take her out.
I'm very courteous to you.
Girl, no, you have been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings. Talk with your advisory council about the rest of your cross. We're going to resume in 15 minutes.
She's like a child. Like throwing a tantrum. Yeah, she's like a child. Okay, so nothing yet on. Okay, so it looks like I have to remove that, and then I can add the screen share back. Okay. Yeah, put her on the naughty step. Put her. She's on timeout. 15 minutes. Lisa says Daryl Brooks kept getting kicked out of the courtroom as well. I'm sorry, I don't know who Daryl Brooks is, Lisa. Thank you, Peekaboo. I can't look at it right now because I'm recording what Resting Dollface just sent me. It's that Sandringham Summit special that came on. I haven't had a chance to watch it, and I want to make sure to get it before it perhaps gets taken offline. Yeah, maybe I can. I don't know. Let's see. What other videos do you guys want to watch while we're waiting? Let's see what else I can show you. I need to hire someone to organize all my videos because there are so many. There are just so many Harry and Meghan videos. Here, let's watch this one.
Invictus. 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 Invictus.
That was a tight squeeze. Okay, thank you, Peekaboo. Lisa says Daryl Brooks drove his vehicle into a Christmas parade. Oh my gosh. I didn't know about that, Lisa. Wow. Here, let me play it again. Colton Cake, let's see the flinch. He almost lifts up his arm to like block her, right? Yeah. Peekaboo says if someone else orders the videos, you won't be able to find them either. I don't know what that means, Peekaboo. Let's see. Let me show you guys another video. Oh, here. This is the longest handshake I've ever seen. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. Okay, this one at this moment is slowed down, but before this, it's like that is the longest handshake I've ever seen. I know, peekaboo. It's so hard cataloging the videos, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and yeah, yeah. Colton Cake. He totally jerked his hand away. Um, like he almost like tried to block. Yeah. Eva says, I heard that David Beckham will be knighted soon. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, it's happening on June 14th, the same day as Trooping the Color. You know, Hide Out Loud, he used to be, and even in the beginning days when he was with Megan, he used to be, but man, that star has faded. Yeah, that star has definitely faded. Okay, nothing yet on the live stream. But this is fun. I can show you guys some video clips. Let's see. Let's find another video. Ooh, this one was actually on the news recently. There was an article in the Daily Mail about it. And they were justifying Megan's dirty look. I mean, come on. How do you justify that? This is an angry person. Well, this is someone that got angry because someone talked out of turn, right? Karen says she seems to be deliberately trying to solve the case. She wants a mistrial. I could totally see that. Let's watch this clip one more time.
Introduce how you have great character and good character. We're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could
Okay.
include being convicted of 4 murders. And
You don't need to yell at me either.
yelling at you, okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk to me that way. I'm
Take
very
her out.
courteous.
Take her out.
I'm very courteous to
Take
you.
her out. No, you have been nothing near courteous to me during.
So it seemed like the judge told her, if you bring in that you're a good character, we're very easily going to bring in, the prosecution is going to bring in your historical trial records, or your record basically, and it's going to be a short trial. So maybe that's what she was trying to do, and they're not letting her. Hi, Carol. Thanks for being here. Agatha says, I just promised not to look again until the breakup mess. You mean about Harry and Meghan, Agatha? Sorry if I was just showing some clips. Yeah. Trying to keep things going, and it's still nothing has happened. That dance was too much for me. I know. Hideout Loud said, did you do the montage of where the faux royals had to sit in different royal events? No, I haven't done that. Yeah. Here, let me play this one, and I'll go find another video to show you all. I wonder if they're just gonna go to recess and, go to lunch or whatever. Oh, here, I have one for you all. So to me, guys, she clearly bowed, okay, or curtsied. And it was a very small. Here, I'll play it again. It's an incredibly small one. And to me, it looks like she's lip singing. You guys tell me what you think. Yeah. Yep, tiny little dip. That's what I see too. And it's strange that, all the other royal weddings, that moment. Oh, it looks like it's starting, guys. Okay, I'm going to go on mute. You're right, Colson Cake, and that's the infuriating part, right? Here, I'm gonna go back to mute.
You can be seated when you get to your seats. All right, please be seated. The jury is present. Members of the jury, thank you for your patience. We had to resolve an issue this morning. Please don't speculate on that, and it's no one's fault as to why there was a delay getting started this morning. If you'll recall, on Friday afternoon, we started testimony from the case agent who's seated at the prosecutor's table. And we're going to take another witness out of order now, so we'll resume him at a later time. But at this time, the state's going to take a witness out of order. Go ahead and call your next witness.
Thank you. The state will call Daniel Moss.
All right, so you're going to come stand right here in front of my clerk, and she's going to swear you in.
Hello. Can you please state and spell your first and last name? Raise your right hand, please.
I want to thank you all so much for being here, you guys. It's my first time doing this and watching it, so thanks again.
All right, right up here.
And if you can scoot in close to the mic. Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name's Dan Moss. I own a window tinting shop in Idaho, Rexburg, Idaho.
How long have you owned a window tinting shop there in Rexburg, Idaho?
Since 2008.
And is it just you working there, or do you have others working for you?
We have other employees.
Okay. Do you have a website for your company?
Yes.
And how do you get business? Do people come in? Can they call you to get a quote? What happens when someone is interested in getting their car tinted?
They can stop by and get a quote. They can email us through the website. There's a phone number on the website. They can call, text. Pretty much, we make it as easy as possible.
Okay. If someone calls, who answers? Is there like an office phone or?
There's a shop phone, so it could be me or one of the other employees.
Okay. And if someone calls in and requests a window tint job, how do you set up sometimes to tell them when an appointment might be available?
If somebody calls in, we just pull out a calendar right then and just give them some dates and times that they can come by. They can, if that doesn't work for them, usually they can drop off the car before hours or after hours.
Okay. Do you ever send them like a text saying, we have an appointment available at this time? Would that work for you?
Every day.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about window tint in general. Are there different levels or percentages of tinting that are put on?
Yeah, there's called the VLT percentage, visual light transmittance. So what your eye can see, not infrared or ultraviolet, but the visual light that comes through the glass is represented by a number, and the window film manufacturers assign that number to how dark the film is.
Okay.
So 5% window film only lets in 5% of the visible light. 70% lets in 70% of the light, essentially looks clear, where 5% is black, really dark.
So if someone puts 5% VLT onto a vehicle, are you able to see into that car?
No.
What about 20%? What is that?
You can see like a silhouette of somebody that's in there.
Okay. And can people do different percentages like front or rear windows?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you about some business that you did with back on September 23rd and 25th of 2019. I've shown the defendant Exhibit 183. If I can have my paralegal approach with that. If you take a look at that, does that contain an affidavit that you signed authenticating some different screenshots from the business phone as well as screenshots from your camera system in your business?
Yes, it does.
And do those relate to a phone call that was received on September 23rd at 1:54 p.m. from a 480-351-9120 number?
Yes.
And then sort of the business of tinting relating to that initial call.
Yes.
The state will move to admit Exhibit 183. Wait, that's what I said.
183 is a packet.
Yes.
Relevant, Your Honor.
All right, the exhibit is admitted, you said 81?
183.
I'm sorry, I wasn't even close, 183.
All right, and if I could have the Elmo, thank you. All right. I'll start with sort of what is described in this as, let me zoom out. Were you contacted at some point by law enforcement and asked about an individual with that 480-320 number contacting your business to have window tint put on a Jeep?
Yes.
And did you, in fact, end up scheduling an appointment and, in fact, putting tint on a Jeep?
Yes.
So did you provide law enforcement, starting with this first page of 183's attachments, a screenshot of your phone showing when you received that first call from the 480-20 number?
Yeah.
And so this was September 23rd of 2019?
Yes.
And then that was at the 1:54 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's a couple days later, did you or your business reach back to that 480-351? Advise them that you had an appointment available?
Yes.
I'm going to zoom in a little on this. Is this, I guess, the message that was sent that was kept as part of your business records regarding setting up a time for this individual to bring in their Jeep?
Yes.
So on September 25th, they were advised they could drop the Jeep off at 9 to have work done?
Yes.
Okay. Was this a message that you sent out?
Yes.
And so when you're sending this in the morning at 7:27 a.m. and you're advising them that they can drop off the car and it will be worked on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put up, can you describe for us what we see here?
Looks like I'm cleaning some windows, just about ready to put some film on that door
Okay.
glass.
So this is you actually, you did the work on this Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about This is the vehicle that was associated with the 480-351 9120 number.
Yeah.
Now, this is a two-door Jeep Wrangler.
Yes.
When you are looking at a vehicle like a Jeep Wrangler, do they come with factory tint on them?
Yes.
So when a vehicle has factory tint on it, what do you do when they're brought in to put tint on them?
All the time, people come in and ask to darken the factory tinted glass because the factory tinted glass is usually like a 20% VLT, and you just layer another dark layer on top of it.
Okay. So you don't have to try to take off that other tint. You're just putting another layer on top of it.
Yep.
So in this case, you said you were cleaning, we can see a spray bottle, you clean the glass before you put the next layer on.
Yep.
When you are talking about different percentages of tint, in this case, do you recall being asked to put a 5% tint on the rear windows?
Yes.
So if there's already tint on the car and then you add the 5%, does that make it even darker than what we would expect on a normal 5%?
Yeah. If you slide a VLT meter on there, like all officers have usually in their car, it will usually net like 2% or 0% VLT.
And so would that mean you can't see anything in the back?
Yeah, dark.
So if someone was laying or sitting in the back of this Jeep and you tried to walk by and look in there, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Objection. Speculation.
Overruled.
Having worked on these cars and seen what this looks like, are you familiar with whether or not you can see someone inside the vehicle with that dark of tint?
Yes, definitely.
So from your personal experience, you are telling us that with the 5% and then the additional factory tint, you would not be able to see into the back of that Jeep.
Broad daylight, you can't see in.
Now, the 20% that's in these front windows on top of the factory, would you still have some ability to see in?
Yes.
Okay. When you were talking to us earlier, you said that people are able to drop off their vehicles to be worked on.
Yes.
Do you recall in this case whether or not you saw the person who dropped this off?
I do not.
Okay. Now, we see that you have some cameras inside your shop for you to work on. Did you attempt to screenshot images to show the rear license plate of this vehicle?
Yes.
And I'm going to put some of these up, also part of packet 183. Do you recall the colors of the license plate on that Jeep?
They were white.
Okay. Did it have black lettering?
Yes.
Okay, so is that an Idaho plate?
No.
Okay. Did you know what state plate that was?
Texas. I
Texas?
guess.
Could I get you to speak up just a little bit? Thanks.
So it was a white plate with black lettering that you recognized to be from Texas,
Yes.
but you were unable to get the exact lettering of that plate from your surveillance system.
Correct. At the distance and angle, it was blurry.
Okay. One other question in this. On this Jeep, did you note there was like a sticker down here on the
Yes.
front windshield?
Yeah.
So that was there when the Jeep was brought in and dropped off to you?
Yes.
When you are completed with the job, do you send a sort of receipt of some type?
Yes,
And do we see that here as a part again of Exhibit 183?
yes,
And did that describe the work you did?
yes,
So we see again, this was sent to the 480-351-9120.
yes,
So we know it was a Jeep Wrangler, what we saw in the photograph
yes,
with the Texas license plate.
yes,
And so it was 200, how much you charged?
yes.
And then it says 5% rear and 20% front. What does that mean then?
That we put 5% window film on the back 3 windows and 20% on the front doors.
And then with our start and end time, does that mean that you completed this work in about an hour on September 25th of 2019?
Approximately.
Do you recall seeing the individual who had this Jeep ever pick it up?
I don't.
So did you have any contact with the owner that you recall at this point?
Not that I can recall.
So other than knowing that you were dealing with this Jeep that was documented, the 2-door Wrangler associated to that 480-351-9120 number, you can't tell us anything else about the owner.
Correct.
State has no other questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, are there any questions for this witness from the jury? I don't see any. All right, sir, you can step down.
Thank you.
State can call its next witness.
Thank you.
All right, sir, come on up. You're going to stand right here in front of my clerk and be sworn in.
Hello. Can you please state and spell your first and last name?
Thomas Miller, Thomas, M-I-L-L-E-R.
Thank you. Raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God? Okay, round the full number up there.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Special Agent Thomas Miller with the Drug Enforcement Administration.
How long have you worked for Drug Enforcement Administration?
Approximately 27 years.
What do you do there?
I currently am the unit chief of the National License Plate Reader Program for the DEA.
Can you tell us what the National License Plate Reader Program is?
It's a law enforcement tool that was developed and utilized by the DEA to enforce its Title 21 statutory authority to facilitate drug trafficking investigations and any other drug-related crimes in the drug trade.
So in there, we hear the term license plate reader. What is that? What is a license plate reader? How does that work?
It is a camera that we normally have positioned on any known drug route utilized by drug traffickers. A lot of the LPRs have a software, it's called optical character recognition, or better known as OCR. What this OCR software allows the LPR camera to trigger on the alphanumeric characters on a license plate, and it will create an image or images, and simultaneously it will also create a XML or a textual file. And at that time, the images and the text file are then paired up and is then saved in the DEA server.
Okay. You used the term LPR. Is that shorthand for something?
Yes, a license plate reader.
Okay. So it's easier for us to say LPR.
Yes.
Is there a system called Diesel that relates to the National License Plate Reader program?
Yes, Diesel is our tactical query and alert system, and it stands for the DEA Special Intelligence Link, and that's how we access the information that is saved from the LPR cameras.
Okay. So can law enforcement agencies outside of the DEA access this Diesel system to determine if any of the cameras have caught a specific license plate?
Yes. The El Paso Intelligence Center, where the Diesel platform is located, they will vet state, local, tribal, and other federal law enforcement personnel to have or gain access to our Diesel platform.
Okay. So certain law enforcement agencies can get access to Diesel to see if a license plate has been read on any of the cameras.
Yes, as long as it's they're ingested into our Diesel platform.
And by ingested, what do you mean?
After the LPR camera that does feed into the Diesel platform, it will go into the Diesel platform where they can access that.
Do all of these license plate readers capture like just a photo of the license plate, or is it the vehicle? What are we getting in this system?
Depending on the vendor camera and the OCR, or the optical character recognition software, it will sometimes give you a visual of just the plate, and then other times will be the back plate, possibly depending on the position of another camera, the front plate, and sometimes an overall picture of the entire vehicle.
Okay. So if someone is driving on an interstate where one of these license plate readers are located, depending on the camera, it may capture a photo of the vehicle and of their license plate?
Correct.
Okay. Do all of these license plate reader cameras just look at the back of vehicles?
No, a DEA will sometimes also place cameras that read the front license plates. Usually we do this more for tractor trailers or semi-trucks who have a front plate that is different than the plate on the trailer.
I want to talk to you about the license plate reader near Holbrook, Arizona. For that reader on the I-40, does that camera capture the front or the back, or what does that camera capture there?
It captures the back plate, and there's two cameras, one each covering the 2 lanes on that road going westbound.
Okay. I've shown the defendant Exhibit 121. My paralegal can approach. Sir, if you can take a look at Exhibit 121. Let me know if you recognize the affidavit as well as the documents associated with it.
Yes, I do.
And does that contain an affidavit authenticating those records as well as a diesel citing of a license plate from your National License Plate Reader program?
Yes, it does.
And that's kept in the normal course of business.
Yes.
State will move to admit pursuant to 803 and 902.
Objection?
Just relevant, Your Honor.
What was the number again?
121.
121's admitted. 121's admitted,
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. If I can have that to publish, please. All right. Let's start with the first page of this. So is this a document that's part of the National License Plate Reader diesel system?
Yes, it is.
So in this case, when we're looking at the top here, first we see plate. Is that the plate that's associated with this vehicle that we see here?
Yes, it is.
So that's LWD 0997.
Yes, and I believe that was a Texas license plate.
Then the location here, DEA FCU AZ Holbrook. Can you tell us what that means?
Depending on who the unit chief was at the time, they will name a camera, specifically if it's owned by DEA, a certain name, and a lot of times it will include at least a city or town that's fairly close to that location.
And is this license plate reader on the I-40?
Yes, it is.
And is this one located a little to the, I guess, west or east of Holbrook on the I-40?
Yes.
Okay. And then we see a time and a date. So is that October 1st of 2019?
Yes, it is.
And it's 6:52 Mountain Standard Time?
Yes.
At that time on October 1st of 2019, if we convert that to Arizona time, is it 5:52?
Yes, it would be that time of the year.
Okay. Over here, we see highway name, you said I-40 westbound, and then direction giving us the westbound as well.
Yes.
In this photograph, we see the back of a vehicle with no tire on the back of it. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then was there a second page of this that gave a closer up of the license plate on this?
Yes, it does.
And is that what was documented in the citing details of a Texas plate LWD 0997?
Yes.
State has no other questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, cross.
Mr. Thomas, is that the only picture that you have in Arizona on October 1st of the Jeep Wrangler?
I'm sorry?
Is it the only picture, license plate reader picture that you have in Arizona on October 1st?
Yes, that's the only picture in our diesel platform.
Okay. And how many license plate readers do you have in Gilbert, Arizona?
I am not sure on how many we exactly have.
Do you have any?
Yes, we do.
There's one on Gilbert Road, isn't there?
That I'm not sure. We have over 11,000 cameras that feed into the diesel platform.
Okay. What about in Mesa, Arizona? Are you aware of any in Mesa, Arizona?
I am unaware how many cameras that we have in Mesa, Arizona. We do have quite a few cameras, LPR cameras in Arizona.
And so of all those cameras that you have along this way, when this incident happened in Gilbert, Arizona, you don't have any other pictures of this Jeep? Is that correct?
No, but there's several reasons why there may or may not be. A lot of times we do have software and hardware issues with our LPR cameras, so they will be down at times. Depending on speed, how old the camera is, sometimes speed and the amount of traffic will also have a bearing on whether or not an image is captured. And then there's ways to defeat LPR cameras as well.
There are ways to defeat them?
I'm sorry?
There are ways to defeat them?
Yes.
Interesting.
No, Your Honor, I'm going to object to that and move to strike defendant's comments.
The jury should disregard the noise that the defendant made after that answer. All right, go ahead and ask your.
Sorry,
next
Your
question.
Honor. So, Mr. Miller, of all your cameras, you have no other pictures on October 1st, 2019 of that Jeep Wrangler, is that correct?
I'm going to object to asked and answered twice already.
It is asked and answered, but he can go ahead and answer one more time.
That was that transaction of the diesel sighting was the only one in diesel.
Okay, so on October 2nd, you have no other pictures of this Jeep Wrangler as well, is that correct?
I'm not for sure if that ever was ran. I'm not for sure. What does happen is DEA does have a retention policy where as information or data that goes into the diesel platform is then expunged or deleted or purged from the diesel platform after 90 days.
And you don't have any from October 3rd as well, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you don't have any from October 1st, October 2nd, or October 3rd, is that correct?
And not to my knowledge.
And do you know how far from Gilbert, Arizona, Holbrook, Arizona is?
I'm not for sure the exact distance.
Would you be surprised if it was 173 miles?
I'm going to object to speculation. Witness has already indicated he doesn't know.
He can answer if he knows.
I don't know that.
So that would be about 3 hours from
I'm
Gilbert,
gonna
Arizona?
Object
This
to,
is the objection sustained. He didn't know how far it was.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right, redirect.
just briefly. Sir, you told us that the DEA set up this system for drug trafficking. Is that correct?
Correct.
Does that then have an impact on where cameras are located?
Yes, we specifically try to target drug corridors and drug routes that are utilized by drug trafficking organizations.
So if you thought there might be some drug corridor going through Gilbert, then you might stick a DEA license plate reader there?
Correct, or at least have a law enforcement partner that we will ingest their LPR camera data into diesel.
So let me ask this, are all license plate readers that you see across the country associated to diesel?
No,
So just because there may be a license plate reader on Gilbert Road, but does that mean that it's part of the diesel system?
no. In fact, there's so many different license plate reader programs out there that our program comparatively to the totality of everything is very small.
So DEA just ingests or has its own small percentage of cameras.
Yes.
They don't cover every single camera.
No, not at all.
You were asked about if a vehicle is driving in a drug trafficking corridor that the DEA is interested in, that there would be ways to defeat or not, I guess, be captured on these license plate readers. What did you mean by that?
There's definitely ways. They will remove their license plate. They will partially cover a plate. They will change a number temporarily. But a lot of times we will see things that will cover a plate, or at least part of the plate, to make sure that an LPR does not take an image.
And then you said the amount of traffic. So if traffic is busy, is LPR less successful in obtaining all of those vehicles and all of their license plates?
Yes, and depending on the age of the camera, there is a failure rate of the images that are taken by an LPR camera. So if there is a vehicle that is fairly close or tailgating another vehicle, it may not take a picture of the front vehicle.
Ultimately, in this case, what you're able to tell us is that on October 1st of 2019, at about 5:52 a.m., a Jeep Wrangler with a Texas license plate LWD0997 was going westbound on I-40 in Arizona?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
Are there any questions for this witness from the jury? I don't see any. Sir, you can step down. Thank you.
And Judge, can we sidebar briefly?
Yeah, let's sidebar.
I want to be part of that sidebar. I wonder what they're saying to each other. I've never seen this happen where they speak to each other through headsets. I'm sure the jury can hear it too, right? I'm not sure. Yes, Colton Cake, he did ask the jury if they had questions. And I guess this is something that's been happening in Lori's trials. I haven't seen it in other trials. I haven't really watched trials, to be honest. But the jury does get to ask the witnesses questions. Lisa says to establish that the vehicle was on a possible path to Brandon's house, possibly. I agree. And I'm interested to know if any other cameras, like the non-DEA ones, if they caught the car too. It's interesting that they went specifically with the DEA camera, and maybe that's another witness that may be coming up. If I'm not mistaken, I think it also happened in the Jodi Arias case, because I remember that I think the jury asked Jodi questions when she took the stand. Karen. Yeah, the judge is like, just stop asking questions. It's not relevant. It's not relevant that it's that many miles away. Lisa says because Lori is a convicted murderer, she should not be allowed to get close to a judge.
All right, members of the jury, again, I have, please don't put them close to the mics. That's what I think makes the feedback. I apologize for the late start we got this morning. We're going to break just a couple minutes early for the lunch recess, but we're going to start at 1:15 p.m. 1:15 p.m. Please remember the admonition.
All right, the jury.
We'll be at recess till 1:15.
Okay, guys, since there's so much time left until the next, till they come back, how about I'm gonna keep the stream running and we can all come back to, how do you guys feel about that? Because I don't want to keep everyone online until then. You guys tell me though, what do you think? I can see if I can put like a banner up or something that says out of office until 1:15 p.m. Which technically I think if they're starting at 1:15, that means the stream will start at 1:45 because of that half-hour delay. Yeah, Agatha, Karen's an expert here. Thanks for being here with us, Karen. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the best because I don't want to keep you all tied up here for over an hour. All right, guys. So I'm gonna put. That if you can stay, Agatha. Like if you can come back, great. I'm thinking maybe at the end when everything is done, I may make clips of the different witnesses and post them. So you may be able to catch it that way, or after the live is done, it does publish on the YouTube channel. End this stream and start another. I could do that. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to end this stream and we'll start another one when it's back. I want to thank you all so much for being here with me. This was so exciting. My very first trial live stream. Yeah, I appreciate you all so much. So I hope to see you all very soon in about an hour. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Bye, everybody.